Correction.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Election Day. Yay. We hope you exercise your right to vote. Thanks for joining us. We are broadcasting live from D.C. So isn't that perfect? It's Election Day. We're here in D.C. My name is Fanae Croft, and thank you for joining us for our Behind the Scenes series. Today, we are going behind the scenes of a test center. So I go on the road all the time. I'm the field marketing manager. I meet people all over the country. I answer questions about the exam. I do sessions. Sometimes they're boring, sometimes they're not. But I do sessions, and people will ask me, what can I bring to the test center? Can I bring a calculator? Do I use scratch paper? Am I going to be able to bring my stuff with me? Well, we're going to answer all those questions today. So we're going to give you an inside look at the test center. And let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about a few things before we get signed up here. So first, prior to arrival, you got to register for the exam on MBA.com. So you can't come to a test center, call or sign up, anything like that. You go to MBA.com, you click register for the exam, create an account, get started there. Sometimes you're just interested in figuring out where's my closest test center. So you can type in your zip code. It'll bring up all the test centers near you. You can compare the different schedules, but you want to check each one because they'll all have different schedules. But most likely you should find a date that works for you. Most days of the week we're open, I think, except for Sundays, but check the schedules. You'll see what's available there. Accommodations. So let's talk about that a little bit. Accommodations like additional testing time, extending breaks, sign language interpreter are available to test takers who meet certain eligible criteria and have supporting documentation. So these are things you want to take care of before you sign up for your exam. So keep in mind that accommodations can take 3 to 4 weeks to process. So if that's something you're interested in, go online, check out that process, see what the documentation is that you need, and move forward there. Lastly, make sure you know your route to the test center. It sounds like it goes without saying, but you just want to make sure you have time. The check-in process, it might take 5 to 10 minutes. You want to build that buffer in. If you arrive to the test center more than 15 minutes late, your exam could be canceled. So just make sure you know your routes, you've thought about it, you know the time of day, you got all that thing down, okay? So let's take a look really quick. We're here in the lobby, and I have Jeremy. He's back here.
Hello.
Hi. He's saying hello. So if you end up having any questions about anything, just post your questions. We're going to stop. Actually, let's take a question right now. Anybody have any questions about the registration process, signing up?
Haven't received any questions yet.
No questions, so we'll keep moving.
I haven't seen any in there yet.
Okay,
so
let's get signed up.
Ask those questions in the comments.
Okay, yeah. Again, hi, Fanae. Just in case you jumped on, Fanae Croft, GMAT. We're inside the test center. I have my lovely colleague here, Shira. She's with our customer care team. So we have her in case like you ask a nuanced question, because I'm not going to know that, but she has all the nitty-gritty details to help us out. So when you come in, you're going to have to show your ID. Yeah, and then you'll get your examination testing rules and agreement. Quick comment about the identification. So it needs to be valid, current, and government issued. So that's going to matter. You can't bring an old ID and come and think you're going to get, no, it needs to be current, valid, and government issued. And the name, birth date, and country of citizenship needs to be exactly what you used when you registered for the exam. One other note, a passport is required if you're testing outside of your country of citizenship. So keep those things in mind as it relates to your ID. So you'll get this examination testing rules and agreement. You'll have a seat, you'll read through, make sure you got everything, answers, you got it. Oh, penalties for cheating, severe, so it's telling you not to cheat. Come back, you'll hand that in, and then you will put your digital signature here to state that you understand the agreement. Sign that, make it pretty, you can't see it, but it's fine. And then you'll have the opportunity you have to take a photo. So you'll sit, pose. Some you might stand, it's going to vary depending on where you are. And lastly, this might not be the exact order, but you will do these things. You'll have to do a palm vein scan. So it's a pretty interesting little contraption here. You'll put your hand there. They'll let you know when it's working. You're done. you're all set. So at that point, you will get a key to your locker. Some lockers, when I took my exam, they gave me a key. This one, the keys are in there already. So let's go to the lockers. See what you see when you get here. We got any questions, Jeremy?
We actually do. So one question was, what is the validity period of the GMAT? How long your score is valid for?
Your score is valid for 5 years. Yeah.
All right. And do we have a testing center in the Bahamas?
We're working on that.
Okay.
Oh, we're working on it.
We might have to get back to them on that one. We don't know off the top of our heads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get back with you. Stay tuned to NBA.com for test centers.
One more. I think I know the answer to this, but do all test centers look exactly the same?
Most of the ones in the U.S. do. They should look exactly like this one.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
So pretty close.
they'll be
Pretty
relatively
close.
similar,
Mhm.
yeah.
In other countries, they may differ, but U.S. they'll all look like this.
Yeah, like I said, when the test center that I was at, the layout might have been a little bit different. The lockers were behind the counter when you got there, but it's the same setup, for the most part. So here we go. We got our locker. I gotta put all my stuff down. Figure out what I'm gonna take here. So I got my bag.
1 second. Let me get over here to see
Oh,
you.
you got me?
I
Okay.
got you.
It's a little dark in here, but figuring out what I'm taking here. So probably gonna be thirsty, so I might want to take my water. But no, can't take water inside the testing room. So and then I want to take notes because I've been studying and practicing. I have my notepad, and maybe I'll take that. No, you won't take that because you can't take any notes, any pads or anything like that into the test center. You got your study materials and everything. No, locker. What else? Oh, calculator. You got to make sure you're calculating those problems. No, you're going to leave that. So I could go on and on and on here, but the main thing you want to know is that there isn't much you can actually take into the test center with you. You can take prescription eyeglasses. You can take your locker key, a light sweater, like a non-outdoor jacket, maybe like a suit jacket that goes with a pair of pants. And that's about it. Yeah? Yeah, unless you had something approved with your accommodations, then you got your eyeglasses, your locker key.
Even your eyeglasses will be checked before, as part of your check-in process.
Yes. So you'll have to check your eyeglasses. You got your key. Not this water. We're going to put that back because I can't take that. And you got to have your ID with you because you're going to need that at each check-in. So you're going to have your ID with you. And then you're moving forward. One question that we always get is, can you wear a watch? Can wear a watch. So if you have a watch, you want to make sure you store that. Quick note about cell phones. It's so easy to use our cell phones for everything. I don't even wear a watch. When I want to know the time, I just touch my cell phone. Well, you can access your locker during breaks throughout the exam. But I would advise you, if possible, to leave your cell phones at home. That may not work for someone who is commuting via train or you're getting dropped off, but just make sure you do not access your phone throughout the duration of your exam. Because if the proctor notices when you go into your locker, they see a light go off, they might not be certain if you're cheating. Same thing with your books and notes. Like if you have an OG, for example, and you've used that to study, I would suggest leaving it behind if you can. Leave it at home or in the car. Just don't bring anything into the test center that could, cause you to look a bit suspicious. Because as you saw on the testing rules and agreement, severe penalties for cheating. So, any questions at this point?
Just got a new one from Jeff asking if the GMAT is the only test that is offered in these test centers and how many people will be testing at the same time that they will be.
That is a great question. So Pearson VUE is a testing center. They do all types of certifications. So while you're here, you will have an appointed time. So let's say your exam is scheduled at 12 noon. There could be other people testing at the same time, and they may not be taking the GMAT exam. So just be mindful of that. So during the duration of your exam, there could be people going in and out of the test center. They typically are going to be quiet. There's no talking and stuff like that back there, but there will be other examinations going on at the same time, and they're for various different types of certifications or tests.
Okay.
We did, that's right. We just want to let you know that we did verify the Bahamas question. We do have a test center in the Bahamas.
Woohoo!
All right.
Vacationing and testing at the same time. It's awesome.
Also,
All right.
Also have a question about
Sure.
if you're allowed to have food or energy drinks.
No, not while the test is going on, but you can access food during your breaks. So during the GMAT exam, you'll get 2 optional 8-minute breaks. And at that time, you can access your locker and you can access food at that time. So yes, if you want to bring something along, you got your energy drink, you got your strategy plan, you're going to have 2 sips in between your first and second break, go for it.
Okay. All right, we're good.
Okay? All right, so let's go to, so here we've come around the corner and this is our second check-in station. So after you have gone to your locker, you've read the agreement, etc., you come through. Now there'll be your proctor sitting here, and he or she will provide you with a pen to take notes. And here is it's called the Pearson VUE Erasable Booklet. It's called Erasable Booklet, but you cannot erase anything during your exam. So it's a spiral bound booklet. As you can see, the pages are like a grid. The pen is pretty fine. So it's, more like a pen, not so Sharpie-esque. So you should have plenty of room to take your notes there. It's double-sided. And so you're going to leave all your notes. You're not going to erase anything. So as you continue, you just flip the page, you go to the next side, and continue throughout the course of your exam. Should you run out of space, all you have to do is raise your hand. As you can see, there is glass here. So your proctor will be able to see you, and he or she can get you another notepad. So at this point, you would receive your notepad. You got your pen. If you should need like a little what are these?
Earplugs.
Plugs?
Good timing.
Yes.
Mike just asked about earplugs.
Oh, great. Yeah, so here's a little small, they're all individually wrapped. You'll get some earplugs. And if you need tissue for some reason, the proctor will give you that as well. They'll also check your ID, and then you will do a palm vein scan here. So you'll do that anytime you enter in or out of the main testing room. So at that point, you're ready to move into the test center. Did I miss anything?
Nope, you're good, but we did get a question about how many pages the notepad has while you have it in your hand.
Let's see. Okay, I don't know if I've ever counted it. So here's the main page. So then you have the back of that. So that's 1. This is double-sided, so that's 3, 5, 7, 9. So
9
9
sides.
pages. Yep.
And they can't erase what they write
They
in there.
can't erase what you write. Okay? So I got my booklet and my pen. I'm not going to use earplugs today. I'll grab a tissue that I'll be handed, and then the proctor will escort you back into the testing room.
A couple more questions about the notepad.
Oh, sure.
Can they get 2 in one shot? Can they ask for 2 right away if they know they're going to need them?
No, you can't get 2 in one shot. So just kind of know that but don't let that interrupt your strategy or feel like you have to write small or anything. Just go about your business as you normally would. And if you need another one, you just raise your hand and your proctor will promptly get you another notepad.
All right. We have a lot of new people joining in, so why don't we just remind them where we
sure.
are, what we're doing.
Hi, I'm Fanae Croft with GMAT, and we are going behind the scenes of a test center. So if you've just joined us, at this point, we are at our second check-in point. So if you're just coming on board, we took a look at the test center lobby. We talked about the original check-in process, where you're going to need quite a few different pieces of ID, picture, things like that. We talked about what you can take in and out of the test center, and where we netted out at is prescription glasses, a light sweater or non-outdoor jacket, and your ID, and your locker key. So those are the things you're allowed to take into the testing room with you.
All right.
Yeah. Let's go. We're ready?
Yep.
All right. So at this point, our proctor will escort us back. So take a look here. You have a ton of different workstations. So this is what you can expect. We got the question earlier on, will there be other exams? So you'll come in and there'll likely be people sitting and taking tests. So one thing I want to show you though is, for the sake, because of security, we can't show you anything on the actual screen. So we're just going to show you what your little test station might look like. So you'll have your own individual station. Your proctor will walk you over and log you into the computer. And then there are headsets there, as there are certain examinations that may require those. So this is what your test station will look like. And as we stated, other people may be testing near you. So you're going to come in, you're going to fill out, you enter some initial information about yourself. But we do want to show you what the original screens that you're going to see are going to look like. So when you start the exam, they're going to ask, there's a screen that's stating that you can send your scores to GMAT programs. As you can see there, you can select up to 5 graduate management programs to receive your GMAT scores. At this point, this is when you're going to enter the information about the schools or programs that you want to send your score to. If you are choosing to sit for the exam and not send your scores along, that's perfectly fine. You would just next past here. If you are sending to programs, you don't have to remember the schools remember the school codes or anything like that. Just know the names of the school, because you'll be able to search by country, state, and then the schools are going to come up, the program types, all of that should populate. You're applying to Harvard Business School. You should be able to select the appropriate drop downs. You'll see that pop up, and then you'll just hit next. And then at that point, it will say, John Doe, you have requested that your scores be made available to the following graduate management programs. You'll see your school listed there, and then you'll be able to push next and move forward. Any questions about that?
What if you don't want to send the scores immediately? Is there a fee to send them once you've received your GMAT scores?
Yes, there is. So you can sit for the exam, not send your score, but you determine later you want to send your score, you can purchase an additional score report. They cost $28 per report.
Okay, so that would be the benefit of sending it right away versus sending later.
Absolutely. So
there's a cost element to it.
Absolutely. And to Jeremy's point, so the exam costs $250, and that includes the opportunity to send your score to up to 5 programs, but it must be done at the test center. So if you're choosing or to do it later, then you would do the additional score reports. Some people may wonder, well, what's the benefit? The benefit may be that maybe you're in a situation where you have more time to study, or let's say you're an undergraduate, you know that you see graduate management education in your future, you think it's your best time to study, you take the exam now, you're able to put. All right, we're back in effect. Here we are, Fanae Croft, Graduate Management Admission Counsel. We're going behind the scenes of a test center. And so at this point, we're talking about sending your scores to programs. So you have the opportunity at the start of the exam to send your program to up to 5 programs. That's included in the price in the exam fee of $250. So you can send to up to 5 programs at that point, or you can elect to send your scores later for $28 per score report. So as I said before, it may be worth it to take the exam now and then send your scores later, if you're in an opportunity to study, or if you haven't yet decided what program, but you know that you see an MBA in your future, you can pretty much take it and bank it. So you get the score out the way, you can go on and live life, return back to that score, send it to your program once you're ready to actually apply to your business school programs. Okay? So you've entered that score, or you've entered the 5 programs, then you're going to sit for the exam. And you're going to go through each section of the exam. Definitely go to MBA.com if you're not familiar with the sections of the exam. All of that information is there. Also, stay tuned to other digital events. We have another Understanding and Preparing for the GMAT exam coming up within the next, I believe in December, we're going to do another one. So we'll talk about all the different sections of the exam, how long it is, best strategies to prepare. So if you're looking for any of that information, definitely stay tuned to MBA.com. So you sat for the exam, you did great, you're feeling awesome. You hit enter on your last question, and then this is at the point where you will determine, or you would decide, if you're going to accept or cancel your GMAT score. So as you can see here, it's going to tell you that you have 2 minutes to complete that section. If you don't choose one of the options below within 2 minutes, your score will be canceled automatically. So let me make one quick point about that. For this reason, you want to have a minimum score threshold. So you want to know when you come in, I don't want to accept anything less than a 650. So, because once you hit enter, your unofficial score is going to pop up at the end of the exam. And so that unofficial score is going to include your integrated reasoning score, your verbal reasoning score, and your quantitative reasoning score. So it'll list all of those scores out individually, and then you'll see your cumulative total score. And the total score is comprised of the verbal reasoning and the quant section. So you may have heard or may be familiar with the 200 to 800 scoring scale. That's going to be that verbal and quant score, and you'll see that at the very end of the exam. The only thing you'll be waiting on, the reason why it's called unofficial, is because the essay is graded by the computer and also by a live person. So we need time to tabulate that score, get it back to you. That may take up to 21 days to get the official score, but you'll know what your score is at the end, what that total score number is. So when you see 650, let's say that's what you decided on, and you get a 660, then you know I'm going to accept. You really don't have to think or ponder about that and cause or deal with more anxiety about should I take it, should I not. So have that minimum threshold in mind before you even come in. So let's go back to it. Sorry. If we say you got 2 minutes to decide, you already know what you're going to do because you got your threshold. It says select accept my score or cancel now. And then you select your option and you click next. So we've chosen to cancel the score. It gives you another opportunity to confirm that that's actually what you want to do. So you'll see it in red. You've chosen to cancel your scores. Your scores will not be reported to schools, and you may reinstate your score for a fee. It gives you yet another 2 minutes to think about that, make your decision, select, and click next.
All right. What if they are not sure if they're going to apply to a school? Should they send the score?
If you're not sure if you're going to apply to a school,
Like to a certain school, I think is what they're asking.
then it's fine either way. If you want to accept that score, the most important thing to think about is that score, is the number that you received on your score a score that you're willing to accept and you want to stay with you in the future. So if you don't know if you're going to apply to a school or not, that's kind of neither here or there. If it's a score that you don't like and you're thinking about canceling, then that's your decision if you want to cancel. But if you feel like it's a score that you're happy with, you could send it at that point. The school, if you have not applied to the school, it's not like they will pull the score anyway, so it would be fine if you chose to do that. So that would be totally up to you. So if you're looking to accept your score and you already put a school, let's say when you started off, remember the first screen, you entered your 5 programs. So if you'd entered the school at that point, and then you got the score and you were happy with it, if you push send, technically it will be as if the school received it, but what you're really doing is just accepting your score. You're accepting that score into your history so that when you do decide to apply, that school will be able to access that score.
Okay. So if you take the exam twice, the universities will receive both scores that if you accepted twice, they'll receive both scores that you've accepted?
Yes. Anytime you've accepted a score, it lives on your score history report. So the only way a school won't see your score is if you've actually canceled it.
Okay. And one more question. Is there any way to take a practice exam in a testing center like this one?
Not in a testing center, no. But we have really great software. So if you go on MBA.com, we have a tool called GMAT Prep. GMAT Prep is a software that will download onto your computer. So you wouldn't be able to do it on like a phone or anything. You'd use your laptop or your computer. It's going to download on there and it's going to mirror the exam. So it'll have the same scoring algorithm as the exam. It'll be the same calculator that you'll see on the exam. And as I mentioned calculator, I should note that when you're taking the exam, the only section that you'll be able to use a calculator on is integrated reasoning. And so that everything is going to mirror the exam exactly. So that'll give you a really good feel of what the exam is like, the questions you should expect. You'll see the little timer in the corner so you can get comfortable with the experience of the computer adaptive nature of the exam, but you won't be inside a test center. Any other questions? Let me make another note about score canceling. So we mentioned that you can accept your score or cancel your score. If you cancel your score, nobody knows that you took the exam but you. So there will be no C on your score. There will be no indication that you ever took the exam. So that's just something to think about as you're deciding which one you want to do, whether you accept or cancel. So accepting just means that you are accepting that that score is going to be a part of your score history. If you're canceling it, it goes away. It's as if it didn't happen. Okay? What other questions do we have?
Somebody asked how much GMAT prep software costs.
GMAT prep software is free. $0. So yeah, go to MBA.com. GMAT prep is software. It's free. You get 2 free practice exams. So that's really awesome. They're going to be scored. You'll also get an analysis of your performance. So it'll tell you the percentage you got right versus wrong on each section of the exam. It's a really great opportunity to assess yourself, to see where you are, to see where your strengths and weaknesses are, so that you can build a solid prep program from there. And it also allows you to track your performance as you're studying for the exam. So we have that free software, and then we also have additional exam packs. So if you've taken the 2 free ones, you wouldn't want to continue to take this same exam over and over again. You may start to skew your results. So we have the opportunity, you go to MBA.com, you can purchase exam pack 1 or exam pack 2 if you need access to additional study materials and additional practice exams.
Okay. And can you reinstate canceled scores, and for how long after your exam can you reinstate those canceled scores?
Absolutely. Yes, you can reinstate canceled scores. So let's talk about canceling of it too. So we talked about canceling your score at the exam center. So you can cancel at the exam center within those 2 minutes. That's no charge to you. Now we have the opportunity that you can cancel online as well. So let's say you just need some more time to think about it. You want to run it past your mentor or someone else that you know who's really invested with you. You have up to 72 hours to cancel your score, and I believe that's for $25. So for $25, you can cancel your score within 72 hours. So it's really just giving you more time to think about it and really make a solid decision. As it relates to reinstating your score, you can do that as well for $50. Yes? So for $50, you can reinstate your score, and you can go back as far as 4 years and 11 months on a previously canceled score. So we get the question often, why would I want to do that? Let's say you're at the exam center, you had that 650 threshold, and you got a 640, gut reaction said, cancel, 640. And you took some time away, you thought you were going to go and take it again, and you got busy. Or you decided you weren't going to apply for school now, you're going to wait another year before you apply. You've done some more research and you realize 640 is actually a great score for the program that you're interested in. You can go back and access that previously canceled score. So with these options, we have a lot of different options here, so it can seem a little confusing at times, but really we want you to feel as in control of what's happening with your score and how you're presenting yourself to these programs. So we have a lot of options to really help calm the anxiety. We can't change the fact that you got to take a test, but you can at least have some control of the experience and how you're representing yourself during your application process. Any other questions?
What does it cost to reschedule your exam?
Rescheduling your exam, it depends on when you do it.
It depends on when you do it,
Yeah.
If you reschedule more than 7 days before your exam, it will cost $50 to reschedule. If you reschedule within 7 days, you forfeit your entire registration fee and you'll have to pay again.
Yes.
All right.
So think about it. If you're thinking about if you've already scheduled an exam and you think you might not be ready, try to make that decision before 7 days out, because you can do it for a small fee versus forfeiting your fee. So pretty much you would lose your whole fee and then have to pay to take the exam again, the full price. So just keep that in mind as you're making these decisions.
All right.
All right? Okay. Thanks for joining us. This was awesome. This is our first Facebook Live event. Please be sure to stay tuned to our event calendar. We're going to do more and more. Always, when you have an opportunity for feedback, we're going to send a survey out. Let us know what you're interested in, the types of programs and information that you're looking for. If you haven't had the opportunity to vote, I don't know where you are in the country, but get out there and vote. We're in D.C. We're in the nation's capital. We can't wait till tomorrow to see how it all pans out. Good luck on your future endeavors, and thanks so much from us at GMAT.